handling that vice. We are considering the filtering software to ensure that whatever is set out in the internet or in cafes is actually filtered to avoid such matters. We are considering registering all websites that bring about this literature or this information, to have it sifted. And once we strictly come in together with the other arms of the state, we believe that this vice will be handled.
Okay, so that means I'm right to say that the current pornography in Uganda should be blamed on UCC. Not so. That is what you're telling us.
The current pornography in Uganda cannot be blamed on UCC. I have already pointed out that we have the Penal Code Act. That is not the law that governs UCC. We have the Computer Misuse Act. That's not the law that governs the UCC. We have the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act, 2009. That's not the law that governs UCC. UCC is just a component of what should be working hand in hand with other state actors to control this vice. We are looking at the electronic platform. What other entities should do is to consider matters of content, to work hand in hand with UCC to consider matters of content. UCC will then concentrate on technology. Remember, the best law ever should be technology neutral. If you try to legislate on the basis of technology, you will be shocked. You will be legislating almost every year. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And the audience will have more questions for you. And our listeners, wherever you are, this is Ground Zero. We are talking about the anti-pornography bill. And in the House, we have Reverend Simon Lokodo. He's the Minister of Ethics and Integrity, and he's here to talk to us about the bill that he has fronted. And we also have a representative, and he's their lawyer from the Uganda Communications Commission, and he has already made his presentation. Would love to hear from you, 0703 891 636. Let me now go to Honorable Atim Joy. She's the woman member of parliament from Lira district. Would love to hear from her. What is her take on the anti-pornography bill, especially in relation to the declining morals? If we outlaw pornography, if we outlaw indecent attire, will our morals automatically be switched better? You're most welcome, Madam.
Yeah, thank you so much. Madam Presenter, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Minister for Ethics and Integrity, who is with us now, and all the members that are in the House. The question is, will the proposed anti-pornography bill address the challenges of the declining moral values in Uganda? Listeners and members in the House, you'll agree with me that generally the moral values in Uganda are real degenerated. Things are going on there on the contrary. There are dances that are nude. We agree, it is there. People have gone to the extent of dancing naked on the stage, and the public are watching, and they're clapping, they're laughing. If you went to the TV, there are other channels that are relaying live sex, and our children do watch. Sometimes, as parents, we also come across. And if you went to the papers, there are certain publications in the media houses and in the papers themselves that expose the women and even the men, really in a way not expected of them. Some women with the legs up, knickers exposed, you know, with the breast and the knickers in the papers. We want to read these papers, but such exposure also embarrasses us. If you went to the papers and you see things like ironer, whatever it is bringing out to the public, you wonder, what does this paper want to sell to the public? What information do they want us to pick in this particular sense? the bill has come. The bill has only been read on the floor of Parliament, and it has been sent to committee. It is at the committee stage. We have not yet internalized the bill, not until when I was called by UBC to come and discuss about this bill that I read parts of it. I will agree that to some extent, this bill can address the moral degeneration or the moral declining, the declining morals in Uganda, but to a greater extent, it may not. Why do I say this? In the bill here, it defined for us what anti-pornography is and why it has been brought. In their definition, they said the bill that pornography means any cultural practice, radio or television program, any writing, any publication, any advertisement, music, dance, picture, audio, or video recording, a show or exhibition, or any combination of the proceeding that depicts a person engaged in explicit sexual activities or conduct. I totally agree with that, that we shall regard that one as pornography. Then B part is saying that depicts the sexual parts of a person, such as the breasts, the thighs, the buttocks, and genitalia. I think UCC has already elaborated so much on that, that we have other cultures. Uganda has a wide variety of cultures. Each tribe has got their own cultures, and their dances are quite different. At least it's going to expose the breasts. It is going to expose the thighs, sometimes even the buttocks. How are we going to legalize on that? Then it's saying erotic behavior intended to cause sexual excitement. This one, I don't know how we are going to gauge it. How shall we gauge that this behavior is intended to cause sexual excitement? And it's also saying that any indecent act or behavior tending to corrupt the morals. I kind of tried to see some of these things. And I picked a few of them where in their point they are saying that anti-pornography bill is being brought because of the defects in the existing law, especially section 166 of the Penal Code Act. And also that trafficking the Penal Code Act, that one 166, only talks of trafficking in obscene publications, and it only caters for obscene publications, and it doesn't cater for the rest of these other ones. But to the bill, it is saying that pornography is beyond that. It includes communication. I don't know which kind of communication. When I'm communicating like this, or which other communication now? It includes communication. It includes speech. It includes entertainment. It includes stage play. It includes broadcast. It includes music, dance, art, fashion, motion, and then audio recordings. To me, I saw this, and I have this to say. I said that sincerely, we have been seeing these pornographic materials in the papers. If my minister can agree with me, they're in the TVs, they're in the papers. Can I have data just of 3, 4, or 5 that have been taken to court? The world is now a global village. Whatever is happening in America now is being watched by somebody down in the village there. Meaning that I don't know how we are going to control this. But when we talk of dances, we are now, the people call themselves that they're in a .com world. Some of us, we were in a PO box. People are now in a world of .com. And when we were in a PO box, we used to have such dances like the reggae dance. Wasn't it there? How were they dancing this? There was bump. You know, you do all sorts of fashions, styles, but you're doing bump, even with the legs, with the arms, with the buttocks and the rest of it. There was rumba. There was twist, where you start from up to down, then you rise up, any style you want. That was twist. There was wall. You know, you hold your partner and you send her, then you hold her and you bring her, you know. Then you, I don't know who is there, you slap her skirt. Eh? That was that. Then there was a snake bite. Those are dances. How they're generating. Then the recent one, I think, is in Lingala. We are just saying, can people be decent in their dressings? Just decent. Because how are we going to control somebody who is making our fashion? You know, it is somehow difficult, and we are saying, to some extent, yes, but to a greater extent, it may be a no.
Let us now go to Pastor Moses Solomon Male. He's from Arising for Africa. And it has been said, Jefferson from UCC said, it should be the pastors, the fathers, the reverends. He's a reverend and a father. Maybe tell us, is it because the pastors have failed to preach about pornography? Is it, what happens when we are going to church, we go well dressed? But what happens thereafter? Your presentation, please.
Thank you very much, my sister and dear listeners out there. One, I'm pleased to feature on this show. Two, it's very sad that we can even debate this bill, wasting taxpayers' money. It seems our leaders, our legislators have failed to understand what the problem really is. I believe Uganda has very many laws. Actually, I concur with the lawyer from the Communication Commissions. I've studied the existing law. This is the Penal Code at Chapter 166. It's unfortunate that people debate the current bill without even understanding the existing law. To me, this is so good a law. And if the systems were to be working, I'm sure Uganda would be a very, very, very good place. Let me just remind you, in 2009 we had riots. It didn't require coming up with a new law to control, but just, I think it was UCC or UBC, Uganda Broadcasting Councils, which simply switched off the masts of all the broadcasters and sanity returned. And no law was enacted at that time, although the Uganda Communication Commission has now been given more powers to deal with the problem. I want us to understand, Wole Soyinka in his book, The Road, said that when the madness of an entire nation disturbs a solitary mind, it's not sufficient to say the person is mad. We are talking about morals, moral decadence in society. We are enacting laws, one law after another, even where we have a bunch of laws on the penal code. We have the anti-homosexual, we have the law to protect our children. That is the amendment to the Penal Code Act of 2007, which redefines defilement to include both defiling boys and girls. But the legislators come on and deceive the public that there is no law to protect our children. I believe they are trying to promote their personal agendas at the expense of the taxpayer when they are deceiving the taxpayer that there is no law. I have that law with me even here. Now, on the question, will the proposed anti-homosexuality bill address the challenge of the declining moral values in Uganda? We need to understand what moral values are. To me, moral values are a set of emotional laws, emotional rules that people follow to help them make right decisions. They are determined and rooted in their consciences. They are cherished ideas, they are thoughts, they are beliefs or dreams of what is right and wrong, and what is important or beneficial, and what is not in life. Moral values enable us to do what we call a self-exploration, to look into the distant future and ask, where do we want to be? How do we want to be? How do we want to be seen? What do we cherish? What do we value? In professional settings, of course, they are called ethics. And moral values enable us to take decisions whenever we may be, at school, at work, even at home. They define how we behave. They define how we respond to situations. They define what we bring out of our mouth and how we display ourselves. They define our conduct. Good morals instill in us a sense of integrity, a sense of honesty, a sense of diligence, so that we are thorough, we are hardworking, and in everything we do, we mind about what people say. Without good moral values, people become greedy, they become corrupt, they become dishonest, they become ruthless, they become shameless, remorseless, and lacking in diligence and all character, leading to some of the following. One, adulterated feeds which are on the market. We have corruption, we have fake human drugs and veterinary drugs, we have trafficking in human beings into places like China, Hong Kong, and all these other places. And when these people know that they are taking them into prostitution, taking them into homosexuality, they indulge in sex slavery, they indulge in homosexuality, they indulge in thefts, murders, nudity, name it, and crimes of all sorts. Unfortunately, all those are now being committed by even would-be icons of morality in this country. And these include the elders, the religious leaders. Mention it. I think the media has done a great deal to awaken the masses that you see there is a problem, because people used to overtrust. Now they take precautions. The challenge is the would-be icons of society are part of the road today. Because morals stem from the conscience, we also need to understand where the conscience is. Why don't we sensitize, go back to the drawing board, start equipping our people with the ideals we stand for as a country? That is the best way forward. But coming up with this law, I think it's just adding to the law books. It's not going to sort any problem. When we already have a law that is not working, we have the Uganda Communication Commission, which would be switching off radios and TV when witch doctors advertise.
Pastor Mala, I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That has been Pastor Solomon Male, quite a spirited presentation. And it has been raised, we already have existing laws. So I'll give Father Lokodo some time later to explain why there is need for a new bill, yet the existing laws have not yet been enforced, for us to prove that they are not working. Olowo Charles, please come. Please, please Charles, for you.
Thank you very much, the members present, our Honorable Minister, the Honorable MP. We are very glad to have you on ground zero. The law is needed, sir, and everyone present here. People have said, you know, have got piles and piles of laws. I want to give them one question. Have you stopped eating food because you overate yesterday and you can no longer grow any more crops?
Okay.
We are very, 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 very bad at copying, I can say this. Ugandans are very bad photocopiers. When they see a Muzungu going to his or her bed, they think that's the fashion of life in the world today. I should also walk naked as I go to my bed. No, we are saying no.